Hello, everyone. John Drenny, sales manager at VIP Mortgage, and I am here today with a near and dear friend of mine, Miss Georgia Purpura. She is the owner of Sphere Real Estate here in Las Vegas. She is a co-owner with her husband. Great guy.
Angel, yes, pretty cute too.
And there you go, Angel. She said you're cute too. Awesome. We're here today to talk about her new endeavor, her journey to get there. Been in real estate for 20 years. Okay. So, a lot of people are wondering, should I get in real estate? Should I not? Everybody has a journey. Most people don't wake up when they're 7 years old and say, I want to be a realtor.
Exactly.
People kind of fall into it. So since we've known each other for so many years, you teach CE classes here in my office. You've done videos here at my office. We've worked together with clients. Like I said, I've known Georgia. She's such an amazing person, let alone professional. So today, it's all about Georgia Purpura. It's all about Sphere Real Estate, and it's all about your journey. So thank you once again for coming in and tell us everything about you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This company has been literally 20 years in the making.
Yes.
And you didn't realize it starting out. I didn't realize it anyway starting out. I actually got into real estate because I was leaving the career that I went to college for, and I was getting divorced, and our real estate agent, who had the personality of a piece of lint, was making money hand over fist. So I went to college to be a computer engineer, and that's exactly what I did. I was one of the first female Microsoft certified engineers in Las Vegas. I worked at Channel 3 as in their IT department, and after about 6 or 7 years, I kind of lost my loving feeling for tech, and I was getting divorced, and I thought, you know what, I'll get my real estate license until I could figure out what I really wanted to be when I grew up. And I started a waitressing job so I could go to real estate school, and I got my license. And before I knew it, probably within the first year of real estate, realized I fell head over heels in love with the industry. My passion was ignited. And shortly after I got involved, I was asked to get into leadership.
Nice. Teaching
and training has been part of my karma. I naturally gravitate toward it regardless of what I'm doing. And it kind of happened funny. It was the broker in my office was freaking out. I was random agent number 3 in the bullpen. And he was stressing out, and I'm like, what's wrong? He said, I've got 150 agents showing up, and the instructor it can't make it. And I'm like, well, what's the topic? He said, the MLS. And I'm like, ooh, I know a little bit about that.
I live in it every day.
And he was kind of like, I'm like, do you want me to help out? I can step in. And he literally said, well, they can't fire me twice, so give it a shot. And I went up there. It was very organic, and I fell even harder in love with the industry and the way I could contribute to it. That class actually led them to ask me to be the trainer, and then from trainer, assistant manager, from assistant broker, and then that was Century 21 back in the day, and then they sold to another company. So I got sold in that sale, and the next company was a little bit more corporate-y. I was there for a few years, and then I got the big bump, the opportunity to be a broker at KW.
Nice.
So I got to go from assistant to the broker. KW was probably where I learned the most of who I wanted to be as a broker, because I got to study under JC Melvin. He was my corporate broker.
JC's awesome.
I knew my stuff, but he was, in case of emergency, break glass, I could call him. And there were, what I was able to realize were a lot of my own shortcomings, underneath working for him, because just the way, the finesse and the charisma that he would handle things, I'm like, that's what I need. Because sometimes I came barreling in like an elephant, where he's like, no.
Go on a China shop.
Yep. You don't need to be the elephant, be the giraffe. And I'm like, okay, I can be the giraffe. And what I learned from him was absolutely amazing. And then I got to see the world from a different avenue from a boutique company. And I had the privilege of being hired at Urban Nest. I worked there for about 6 or 7 years and watched, a small boutique company grow into the powerhouse it absolutely did. Learning from Dave J. as well as his dad, we all affectionately call him Senior. Dave Tina Senior was absolutely brilliant because I got to see it from a different perspective. Senior is one of our commissioners. Both of them served as presidents, and to see that kind of interaction was just one of the final pieces in my puzzle to really strike out on my own. So every step of the way, I've got gratitude and thanks for everybody along in the journey. And it's been really remarkable because, you see your significant other, you see your spouse as that, the significant other, the spouse, the role that you guys play, for each other in your lives. Now that I get to work with Angel on a daily basis, I had no idea how far his talents went. He is so financially savvy, so business savvy. And, I've been a business person, for the last 20 years. But him coming from a different industry has been amazing because what he's able to bring to the table, don't tell him, but
we're only on a podcast.
We're only on a podcast, but he balances me out.
Of course.
And it takes somebody as strong, stubborn, as smart as him to be able to check me, because I need to be checked on occasion, just like anybody. And he can do it, and he can do it really well to where both of us are getting better because of each other.
Love it. Love it.
That's
let's go backwards a little bit. You have your own Mount Rushmore then of leaders and mentors in Las Vegas. I mean, Mount Rushmore's really only have 4 people, but I'll tell you what, there's probably like 10 or 20 that are really just foundational gentlemen and women who have made real estate what it is in Las Vegas. And you've been very fortunate with the Tinas, JC Melvin. I mean, I've done some sponsorships of some of the classes, and he packs house. Okay, there's a lot of people out there, and you have been very fortunate. Number one, you've evolved. You haven't just jumped ship. I mean, hate to say it, I jokingly say some realtors change their brokers more than I change my underwear. And side note, I change my underwear every day, everybody, okay? So you understand what I'm saying. But with that being said, you didn't do that. You really got under the right people's wings. They taught you well. I'm a huge believer of maximizing your potential, maximizing your positives, minimizing your negatives. And it sounds like that what you did mainly under JC. But like I said, you got your Mount Rushmore. Very fortunate. Sometimes it's better be lucky than good. But here you are now. You're your own boss. You're your own broker. You're the managing broker, but you and your husband, like you said, you own it together. This is a labor of love. This gives opportunities. There's so many different types of real estate. When I say that, I mean like real estate companies. They all have their pros and their cons. You are not a one-size-fit-all, and you're not going to be for everybody. There's actually one of your people that I work with, and she went over to you. She was at a company for a long, long time, and she said, hey, I want to try more of that technologically savvy one, a little bit of a mover and a shaker. I think I'm going to try that. She called me back. I don't even think it was 3 months. And she's like, John, I got to make a change. And she said, have you heard of, and as soon as she's like, I'm like, okay, that's Georgia. Yes, I know Georgia. You got to go over there. She's over there. We recently just closed a deal, one of many, but that's what I'm talking about. You have the ability to control the narrative. You know what makes real estate fun. You know what makes being a broker fun. And so you can take all of your experience from all these years and say, I love this. Not so much. I love this. Not so much. And you can just really do that. And you got a great group of people. I've known most of them over there. We have partnerships with title companies and stuff. And we're just doing great things. So I love it. I love it. And I love it. I can't speak enough about you and your husband. Now, let's talk about what makes Sphere Real Estate different. We're not going to talk about how it's different from another company, but just talk about what you guys created, why you created it. So because I want people to know about Georgia, Angel, and Sphere.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you started saying how some agents change companies so quickly. And, I felt that I was never running from something. I always felt like, I exhausted this step and it's time to go to the next step. And it's about leveling up, leveling up.
Amen.
And you're exactly right. I call it Frankensteining. You take the bits and pieces that you like, the things that you don't like, you can set aside and replace it with other things. And that's what the 20 years in the making has allowed for me to do.
Yep.
I've worked for big franchises. I've worked for smaller guys, the smaller guy that became a bigger guy. And I really started to understand where I can assist the best. And what Sphere is, it is a boutique company. It is not for everybody, but if it is for you, it's an amazing, amazing place to be. And things that I've learned along the journey is number one, don't compare agents to each other.
Nope.
The leaderboard, the number one, number two, number three, that is one measurement of success, but I don't think it is the measurement of success. And as Angel and I, talk and we constantly, formulate who we are and what we want and what we want to see from our agents, one of the things is in the forefront, number one, being that boutique office. Number two is identifying who the agent is, where they are in the moment, and where they want to get.
Of course.
For me, making sure that every single agent knows the only measuring stick I will ever use with them is who they were yesterday. It's not, comparing A to B.
No.
It's comparing to, what have you done? Are you evolving? And yeah, sometimes there are 2 steps back. You have to take a couple steps back, dismantle some of your foundation, rebuild so you can build further and higher. And that's what we want to create. And I think a proper broker, knowledgeable. Check.
Yep.
I love rules. I love the laws.
That's why you teach all those CE classes. You tell everybody the rules and regulations.
Absolutely. And I love the statement, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Yeah. I know what rules are bendy. I know what rules we don't touch. And I know, how to thread the needle on some of those as well. Because if there's a will, I want there to be a way, and I will help to figure it out. But I will never put my license or my agent's license in danger whatsoever.
I've said a million times, guess what? One deal will never make you. One deal can break you.
Totally. That is so truthful. And so we really wanted to create that boutique spot. A broker, again, has to be knowledgeable. And from my Mount Rushmore, from my own study, but also learning alongside of a lot of the most fabulous brokers in town has gotten me there. And support, encourage. I'll holler at you if we need to. I'll pick you up and dust you off if we need to, and make sure that they can move forward in their business and grow. The other thing that I don't think, I think that some brokers miss out on, or they miss the opportunity, is I am also your human shield. As the broker, I ask my agents, tell me sooner rather than later. I can fix just about anything.
As long as it's not too late.
And if I can't fix it, I'm really damn good at damage control.
Of course.
And so that is the other thing, is I will throw down. I will go to the mattresses for you. Now, obviously, we have to be right in the situation. But I think that's something that brokers forget to do, because it's $1,000 of your commission. What's $1,000? $1,000 of your commission
a lot of money.
is, well, in my household, it's groceries for the month.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got a 16-year-old boy that probably goes through 3 gallons of milk in a week. So it's understanding that you go to the mattresses sometimes for your agents and you fight for them. And I think that's missing a lot in today's real estate landscape. And I think that's what I will do.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When you came to me and we talked about like the structure and where your goals are, the things that I'm really, really proud of when you built the business plan, and it's not like you asked me for the business plan ideas, but when you came to me, we talked about a little different aspects of it. Today you have a cap mentally of where you want to be. You don't want to have 1,000 agents, okay? You want to know everybody in your office. You want to know their kids. You want to know what people do. You want to know about their spouses. You're also there, not to be disrespectful to a broker owner of a place that has 3,000 agents. They don't know everybody. They can't be there for everyone. They don't know everyone. And That's not who you want. You want to keep it like a family. You're also looking for like-minded people. Somebody could be an amazing producer. You know it for a fact. You know by the numbers. You know by their 1099s. And if they're not a model match, they're not there for Sphere. That's just the way it is. And so I really like what you're doing. It's been a handful of months, and you already got, including you and Angel, 20 people. You're also looking to expand, but you're doing it organically. You're doing it naturally. You're not looking for bodies. You're looking for quality over quantity. And, like you said, sometimes you got to take a couple steps back to take a couple steps forward. And that's what you're doing and stuff. So right now, you're just licensed. Are you looking for people that are licensed just in Nevada, or do you have people that have license in other states? Are you looking to do just residential? Do you have a commercial division? Tell me a little bit more about the inner workings. Also, tell us about your location. I love your location. It's right off the 215. It's a great location. A lot of room for growth, and that's another thing. You're not going to like ding somebody for not showing them, you don't need some people there every single day, even though you got some great agents that show up every day. But that's what you want. You're instilling a family-like environment. That's why you have that beautiful location, and you don't want people just hanging their license there. You want them there for the meetings. You want them there for the trainings. You want them there if you guys have a potluck dinner, okay, or potluck lunch, I should call it. So once again, tell me more about specifically what you're looking for. Tell us about what you guys specialize in per se, and then really talk about your location, because I want everybody to know. I like I said, I love it.
It is a fantastic location, and Angel found it. He was the scout, looking for all the locations. And, we live in Summerlin. My office has been in Summerlin over the last few years, and that's convenient and awesome. And as we were looking around, I was reminded of something. So LVR built their building, what was it, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. My sense of time is gone. So maybe 8 years ago. I can't remember when they built the building, but they did a very specific study. They chose that location because they found 80% of membership was in that, Green Valley to Summerlin
area.
corridor. Corridor. Thank you. They're in the 80% of agents were in that corridor of, Green Valley up to Summerlin. And when I started thinking about that, I'm like, my drive time would be shorter if we stayed in Summerlin. But what is the hub? My office is my office, but for the agent, it is a hub of where they're going to tell their clients to meet. The southwest side of town is one of the fastest growing right now. So with that being said, we found a wonderful spot just a few blocks away from where LVR is on Rainbow. We're on Buffalo and Sunset, literally right off the 215.
Right off the 215.
And so it is so convenient. And I didn't think about it, but after we moved in, I realized the majority of the title companies are literally down the street.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're all over. The title company's going to be all over. But if you talk about some corporate offices and everything, they're right in that area. And it makes sense. I mean, let's be honest. Back in the day, East Sahara, where Galvar was, oh, my goodness gracious. When we would have to do classes there, it was such a pain. You couldn't even find places to order food from.
Exactly.
So, but the location makes sense. And if you really take northern Summerlin and you even go deep into Henderson and you start on the 215 and you get there, guess where you land?
You're right in the middle.
Rainbow right there.
Right
and you're
in
just
the middle.
one major street over on Buffalo. And so that's awesome. Okay. What do you do? Residential, high rises, land. Do you work in Pahrump? Do you got people in Boulder City? Do you dabble in commercial? Tell me more about that too.
Absolutely.
I want people to know that Georgia Purpura and Sphere is not for everybody. But guess what? For the right person, she's the best. So talk about that.
Thank you. So we are definitely residential, high-rise, land. Yes, we have agents that service Pahrump all over the place. We've got agents working in Lake Las Vegas all the way up to Summerlin and Red Point area. So we cover the entire valley for sure. And one of my passions as being in residential primarily for 20 years was to expand into commercial.
Nice.
And so we hired a brilliant commercial director.
Okay.
And because of him, we have classes. We have the ability to apprentice as a commercial agent. And, real estate is real estate, but I feel like going to a residential agent to do commercial is like going to an eye doctor because your tooth hurts.
Yep, don't do it.
You're both doctor,
Yeah.
but you have these different focuses. And so I have a real good rule. We don't practice on our clients.
Yeah.
But if you do find, if you've got the assistants to guide you and to shine the light on that path, you can grow into commercial as well. So we have a fantastic economic model for experienced residential agents. We are a 100% office with a $695 transaction fee and a $100 monthly office bill. And then when it comes to commercial, we have a training split and we have an experienced agent split as well. So you've got that area that you can grow into because residential and commercial can go very hand in hand as well, especially if you work in luxury.
Yeah.
I find the hop from luxury into commercial is a smaller gap because of the clientele that you're working with. So we've got both of those avenues. I know a fair amount of commercial, but I am far from the expert. That's why we brought in a very knowledgeable, skilled, and talented commercial director to build that side of the company.
And he's going to be there for the new agents. He's going to be there for somebody who says, hey, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I know what I'm doing. I still got your back. And that's huge. That's huge.
Because we have some agents that are like, oh yeah, I do want to learn, but I only want classes. I don't want to deal with it myself. So you can refer in-house, which is really great. Because sometimes, you send a lead somewhere and, you don't hear about it for months and you don't know if the ball got dropped. Here, you literally meet at the water cooler with the guy that you're referring to or the team that you're referring to.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, once again, Georgia, I love the fact that you took the leap, okay? When you started 20 years ago, you were just a real estate agent. You didn't have any visions or you didn't even know if you were going to last, right? Because we don't.
I thought it was going to be a part-time thing to make some fast cash, and then I'd figure out what I really wanted to be.
Exactly, and here you are 20 years later, you and your husband, wonderful couple, wonderful family, awesome. Got your new business going. It's kicking butt, okay? I don't want to cuss too much on my podcast, but it's definitely kicking butt. And you're growing. I've heard nothing but good things. You got the word out there. Once again, you have your Mount Rushmore. They taught you everything. You're very well respected in the Las Vegas market. I know that people have come to you and said, hey, we know of you. Tell us more, and that's why you're growing your team so fast. But once again, you're going quality. You're not going quantity. You have your business model. You know how many people you want to be at. Maybe you expand that in 5-10 years, but we're not there yet. Okay. Love having you here in my office doing our classes. We partner on those. Having you in the podcast. Shooting videos. So as always, I just truly appreciate you coming in today. Georgia Purpura, Sphere Real Estate. Okay. Guys, I'm telling you, it's a great company for consumers, great people working over there. They got people from newbies per se to experienced people. They got the commercial division. And you know what? If you want to change, if you're a realtor and you want to just say, hey, you know what? I don't want to be a number anymore, which is great. There's a lot of realtors want to be a number, want to be left alone. You work for Georgia, you ain't gonna be left alone because she's gonna hold you accountable. She wants to see you grow. She wants to see your whatever your goals are. And like we talked before, if you got an agent in there that says, hey, my goal is to close 4 deals a year, and she's a good person to be involved in your company, you're going to hire her.
Absolutely.
But you also have people that want to close 4 or 5 a month.
Absolutely. And we have the berth to handle all of that. Yes, I've got a brand new agent program where they lean on my experience until they can trade on their own experience. We've got the commercial. We've got experienced agents. We have the technology to where we broadcast our meetings. Again, the magic is being in person, but that doesn't always work.
Schedules.
Life happens, tires flat, kid is sick, closing is delayed, things like that. So the magic is to plug in, but we want to create a place where you can plug in when you need to, but you also have technology where you can still stay in touch when you can't physically be there. So it's a wonderful hybrid of both.
Yeah, and that's what wonderful. I mean, like I said, there's people still are one-man real estate shops out here. Then you have the big companies. You have the companies that are all virtual. So there's no one size fits all. Real estate has evolved significantly in the 26 years of me being in the mortgage business, 20 years of you being in the real estate business. And we're not here to talk negative about anything. We're here to talk about what you believe to be the best path for you and your family and to get out there and bring more people, like-minded people. I call them model matches, and grow your company into whatever it can be. And I've known you for so many years, and I've never seen you fail. Okay, we've stubbed our toes, we've sprained our ankles, but you haven't failed. Okay, so you are definitely not going to fail.
Learning experiences.
Exactly.
You know, I don't mind the failing or making the mistake. You learn so much more from your errors and missteps,
of course,
than you do your wins.
Yep.
And so, you know, even though I might be cursing in the moment,
don't we all?
The perspective is when you can step out of the anger of the moment. There are so many lessons for growth, and that's how we get bigger and better.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And once again, so I couldn't agree with you more. I live my life that way. I use a lot of analogies. I mean, heck, if you fail 7 out of 10 times in major leagues, batting 300, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
And I 100% agree with that statement, where you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins, because it's a perspective thing. So, Georgia, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the partnership. I'm super excited. We're growing together. We got a lot of things that are happening, and I'm just super excited for the future.
Awesome. Here's to 2025.
Yes, ma'am.